start kind of spilling that lead to the lane of your choice. As we head into game number 2, we got Liquid Philippines on the blue side, RRQ HOSHI on the red side.
So far, on the first day of the challenge season here at the Snapdragon Pro Series, only the very first match of the day has gone all 3 games. That was between Lazy eSports and Blacklist International. The rest have been clean sweeps. And right now, RRQ on track to recreate that, unless Team Liquid Philippines can switch things up and show us that they still have what it takes to stand on the global stage in a meta that has so far been a challenge to them.
Almost felt like they were forsaken at one point. I'm looking to see if there's any off-tempo play, right? Because Kautini is on the Suyo. A lot of pressure on the Sanford early on, but he doesn't take the Revitalize. So it's a sprint for the Hilda this game. So the approach is going to be a bit different.
So he is intending to go for full rundown. I expect we'll see Sanford not really part of the initial fight and just looking for Toy most of the time just to deny the Harif any space inside the team fight itself. Looking at the rest of the emblems here, I did see Master Assassin on Yuptizi actually. So that's an interesting choice because even with it, I don't think he's really going to be able to win out against Toy in lane.
There's another, the only other issue that might happen is Sanford, you want to go for full rundown. You even took the Wilderness Blessing and the agility or the Swift. So it's all about the movement speed, but he's still not able to kind of move out lane first, right? I think that's something you want to capitalize. So far, Sanford is still looking for the opportunity. This could be it. Finding Susujin. First blood for Liquid Philippines.
That was an incredible collapse, actually. So without even noticing it, Susujin was suddenly surrounded on all sides by 3 members, and then they just all crushed him in the center into a pancake. So really nice first blood there. TZ gonna be able to get the first turtle of the game, and already it looks a lot different compared to game number 1. TZ, you can tell that he's a lot more confident playing aggressive on the Suyo.
JP getting found out. Again, the duality reaction. It's not the easiest thing to play into, especially when you have essentially 4 close range in your face heroes, right? You're gonna get sucked in one way or the other. Kautini takes away the purple ball. Susujin, a way better start compared to game number 1. Sanji even gets away. That's real world manipulation expended by Rins.
Yeah, the Purify at exactly the time the Spear of Alpha landed as well meant that there was no way for Susujin to continue dishing out damage. This is now a huge advantage actually for Liquid as multiple jungle camps are being stolen away by Susujin. Kautini already a full level up and a 1k lead 3 minutes in for Team Liquid PH.
Even Dyron is struggling a little bit against Sanford. So current call was used. Kautini bringing him down very, very low. Dyron, he's gonna force to take this recall.
Even though on paper, RRQ should have pretty solid side lane priority, you can see that Liquid have been taking great lengths to make sure that they're not able to play off of it, and now actually regaining control over the other sides of the map. It's actually becoming difficult for RRQ to roam around and create space the same way they did in game number 1, so this is now time to try and make a shift in priority. RRQ has a very powerful team fight with Tigreal and Eve, so making sure they're able to group up and keeping the lanes stuffed out so that they can all be part of turtle fights should be a little bit more effective for them.
The fact that we said that RRQ HOSHI has kind of strong side lanes, and right now it doesn't matter as much. But this second turtle is going to be important, right? Like Susujin is a level behind Kautini. JP is going to constantly look for an opportunity. They flicker Implosion, but it really doesn't matter. Turtle still goes over to Team Liquid Philippines, and the AOG into a divergent play to the back line. RRQ HOSHI getting boxed in from multiple angles. Another 2 kills for Team Liquid PH.
Team Liquid definitely feeling themselves now. The flicker implosion, like you pointed out, onto Kautini specifically to make sure that he couldn't retry, and he still was able to get it. The timing was just slightly off because the rest of Team Liquid was breathing down Susujin's neck. Dyron now in some trouble again.
The Vengeance keeping him alive just for a little bit, but not long enough. Even the curtain call is not able to save him. So that's the 4th kill for Team Liquid PH. So it's starting to become a bit of a problem. Your strong lanes are getting collapsed on. Susujin against Kaotizi. Kaotizi blazers away. So no shutdown for Susujin.
And this is why I was thinking that it was probably not a good idea to give the Suyo away the same way you did Joy. This is a hero that enables a lot more counterplay. And Enoch just blows up so much global presence from this team composition on Team Liquid. Immediately the diversion onto Toy.
Wanted to go for a Spear of Misery, but Toy able to dodge it in time. Still, they bring Sanford in, so Toy is still forced away from his own tier 1. They want to collapse onto Sanford, drop the curtain call, and the remote manipulation. Sanford just press the sprint. He's out of there. Top tier 1 falls.
Yeah, the sprint is very good at getting out of these particular forms of crowd control. RQ actually in a lot of trouble here. Even in game number 1, when Liquid was behind a lot of the time, RQ only really had a 1k net worth lead. And now, 6 minutes in, Liquid has 5 kills, 4k gold advantage. When RQ was supposed to have more lane and map priority in general, Liquid have been making a masterclass.
Ito is straight up dead, but he's gonna try and take Sanford with him. Implosion committed. Sanford surely is gonna go down. JP with the AOG, Susujin the next target. Oh my goodness, the duality is too much. Yuktizi wants to commit further, but finds no angle. So still at the end, Liquid Philippine, they find 2-4-1.
Loi is a pretty classic Sanji hero. It's been a long time since we've gotten to see him play it on a stage like this, but I am very happy to see it. And you can tell just how much it's enabling Team Liquid. They can rotate around very aggressively. Even if they make mistakes in terms of movement, a single diversion will instantly correct it and bring them right into the heart of the action. And RQ has a lot of heroes that ideally need a couple of items under their belt before they're able to really start oppressing their opponent. Liquid not giving them the opportunity to do so. It's slowly tightening the vice grip across the map.
Holy cow, one duality is half of Rince's health bar.
That's just low E gameplay for you.
It's just, yeah, it's low in a nutshell. And you proc the little ignition just like that. So easy. So that's gonna be Queen's Wings next, I think, for Susujin.
It does look like it. He ideally needs something to survive. Diversion once again, they're looking for Toy.
Toy is so dead. He is actually just, he's helpless.
This Loi has been enabling Liquid so much. It's not just the diversions, it's just straight up the damage from Sanji that RQ is not ready for. They're at least able to secure the buff here. Not stolen by Liquid, but Kaotizi isn't even in the area. Look at how much damage he does to Dyron.
This AOG past the tier 1. Dyron is dead despite having the vengeance. JP will be sacrificed. Great RWM. They're gonna catch Sanford in the crossfire, but Sanford has to sprint. He gets out. Kaotizi just casually walks out of the RWM. So 1-for-1 trade, but still Liquid, they have a 7k goal advantage.
This is a completely different team from game number 1. I did mention, right? Pick a composition, play gameplay that feels more Liquid. And if you ask me, this is feeling a little bit more classic Liquid in general. Like the aggression around the map, the coordination, the movements, the ganking, the insta-kills. Feels very classic. And it's good to see it. RQ, will they be able to adapt to this? Because Team Liquid has definitely surprised them here. They went into this draft with a certain degree of confidence. They were willing to let the Suyo through because they figured they could control it the same way they did Joy in game 1. And Kaotizi has shown them that that was a mistake.
Big mistake. But it's BOD, that's the snore of the game. Looking to further accelerate the gold lead. E-Dog, unlike game number 1, wasn't able to do too much. Oh, they're looking for Susujin.
Oh, they're looking for Susujin.
He has no idea. Spill of Alpha to disengage, but we'll have to give away the purple buff.
Sanji is so on top of things whenever he's playing Loi. One of the first players to really show how aggressively diversion could be used on the Land of Dawn. And RQ now on the receiving end of this. If we do end up going to a game number 3, I feel like this is a hero they have to respect somewhat. alongside the Suyo, because Cartesi does seem a bit more comfortable this time. First Lord of the game pushing up bottom lane, shouldn't apply too much damage, but RRQ are really far behind in itemization.
Feels like this game, if Liquid wins the next fight, this game probably just ends right then and there. RRQ Hoshi needs so much more time, you know, for Rins and Toys, especially Rins, to even come close to a stage where he can start being a big threat.
Yeah, this has been a very unexpected result. I actually was a fan of the draft here. Oh, so Chizin trying to engage.
Gets pinned to the wall. Clears out the Lord in the process. I mean, all this considered pretty good defense, right? Basically resetting every single wave. So RRQ Hoshi still keeps all inhibs alive, but they are facing down a close to 10k goal advantage for Team Liquid Philippines. It's going to take a bit of a pause as we try to figure out what the issue was. But I mean, at this point, Liquid, they are just miles ahead of everyone else. Even the passive pierce damage from Yuktzi is straight out shredding the health bars of RRQ Hoshi.
Yeah, this is a completely different performance here, and we did talk about how we wanted to see what Yuktzi was capable of. Well, looks like he has responded to our prayers. There is a nearly 10,000 goal difference between Team Liquid and RRQ Hoshi right now. And that is usually the point where it becomes impossible to make that comeback unless your opponent just makes a massive mistake. Because unfortunately, RRQ's lineup doesn't actually scale as well into the late game comparatively to Liquid.
I mean, on that note, what can RRQ do? Like, is this game just set in stone, done and dusted? Just, you know, just on top of the point where they don't scale as well into the late game, or is there still kind of a turning point that they could kind of get this game back on track?
It's still definitely possible for them to get this game on track. Like, their team fight is good. Their base defense is going to be solid as well, since they do have the real world manipulation to slow down a push. But I think Edok is going to need to pull out some of that MVP from last game again. In fact, I think he needs to not grab most of the enemy team. If possible, implosion 1 or 2 members, if you can, Yuktzi being one of them, and then slowly take apart Team Liquid one by one. Because if you try to implosion all 5 of them together, I don't actually think there's enough DPS to take them out.
I guess it comes down to the Harif once more. It's like how we've seen in a few of our previous games. Really, the Harif shouldering a lot of that late game damage capabilities. Unless, again, like you say, if Edok finds the set of his life. In this case, it's definitely slightly harder, as we are going to take a bit of time to talk more about the game, as the players kind of resolve whatever ongoing issues they are, hope to kind of give everyone the most optimized viewing experience.
I think it's clear though from what we've seen that RQ underestimated Team Liquid going into game 2. Their plans for handling them in game 1 went incredibly smoothly, like super well. So I think they went into game 2 without really thinking that like Team Liquid would be able to fight back somehow. They gave them the Suyo over, expecting that, hey, we can manage it the same way we managed Joy and Cartesi previously. We have like Tigreal and Eve. Our team fight should be very, very good. Then Lo Yi kind of slips the mind a little bit. And then it just falls apart a little bit.
Especially when they didn't expect that early game to not go according to plan, right? Like, the plan to control the side lanes, and especially that river area where Liquid Philippines just completely stopped them in their tracks. In the blink of an eye, you realize our strong side lanes are not strong, at least not in this context.
The side lanes were actually doing well in the beginning, but when they lost the mid lane prio off of Sanji's ridiculous Yin Yang reaction damage, then that advantage started bleeding over to Team Liquid's side lanes, right? They were suddenly able to push more aggressively. RQ is not able to like force things as much or poke because they don't really have vision over where the rest of Team Liquid is going to be. And all of that slowly adds up over time to a point where, oh,
Okay, E-Dog, that's Implosion. It's all about looking for Sanford. Ace sprinting away out of this one. That's the pickoff that we need to see. And RRQ HOSHI, again, they buy some time for themselves. Without Sanford for another half a minute, Liquid Philippines, they're going to be down one member. But of course, RRQ HOSHI had to expend 3 ultimates and a flicker for that play.
At the very least, it brought Toy up to his holy crystal timing. You're not going to get scouted.
He's just getting blown up. Like this Tigreal does not feel like a tank at all.
You gotta respect a fed Suyo. The amount of damage that this hero does when he has any sort of lead is a little bit ridiculous. So I like that RRQ tried to push out when they were able to take out Sanford, but yeah, maybe a little bit more surgical with the way they're opening the map. So instead, comrades-in-arms gets the Lord once again. RRQ can be forced into yet another defensive position.
It felt a bit sloppy that E-Dog was so far ahead, but no one else was actively checking the map, right? Like you would expect Rins to help out a little bit, but he wasn't in position to do so. Of course, RRQ HOSHI gonna be ready to give up at least an inhibitor. In this case, it would be the bottom one, as that's where the Lord will spawn.
Yeah, the best case scenario for RRQ is that they only lose that one singular inhibitor, but the waves are being pushed up quite heavily by Team Liquid. Surprisingly, not that well synced. So there may be a way for RRQ to keep their other 2 towers alive if all goes according to plan. But Lord is coming in now. Let's see how much damage Liquid can do.
That's the first inhibitor down. That one is expected. But yeah, I mean, the stagger wave actually keeping RRQ HOSHI's other inhibitors alive. Boy, almost a one-shotter. Has to immediately go home. And with the fact that most of RRQ HOSHI heroes wants to be up close and personal, it's not that hard to get the duality stacks. And be careful though, E-Dog, another flicker into RWM Implosion. That's the combo that RRQ HOSHI needed. They only find JP, and that's just immortality. All that effort to find 0 kills and losing 2 of your own. That has to hurt.
That was like such a good engagement, but a 10k net worth difference is nothing to scoff at. If it was any closer, it would have been a huge catch. But here comes the diversion right into the base.
Right, the side, they want them an inhibitor and they will get it. It's all about zoning out RRQ HOSHI. Curtain Call ties out UTZ and Sanford, but no follow-up from RRQ HOSHI. The Dire even forced to use his vengeance. So Liquid Philippines walks away with a couple of kills and 2 inhibitors.
All things considered, I think RRQ did the best they could in terms of that base defense, considering the deficit that they are playing at. Looking at the items, comrades-in-arms is already maxed out, just got that Sea Halberd to finish things off. comrades-in-arms also full on items, immortality completed on JP, that's what kept him alive previously, even a Winter Crown on Sanford because he knows he's going to be the most vulnerable. Only Toy can really match up in terms of gold right now, and he does have Holy Crystal and Divine Glaive, so his damage is respectable, but by himself is not enough to threaten Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, for comrades-in-arms, he's already maxed out. Toy still has 1 more slot for his items.
Happy birthday, MLBB!
It's gonna be a bit of a headache. The 3rd Lord is spawning. This could be the end game for Liquid Philippines if RRQ HOSHI can't find a way to remedy this. But it seems like they're not going to even contest this. This is going to give it away. It's all about the base defense.
Yeah, honestly, I think playing for the base defense is a much smarter idea coming in from RRQ here. Diversion not going to be taken. Rins did actually just complete his Wishing Lantern, so that's also a very important item power spike for the heal. So RRQ's base defense should actually be pretty respectable here, but still, 13,000 gold difference. That is rough.
You know that you are just unfairly ahead when the dream combo doesn't result in any loss of life. This loss should be easily taken care of by the damage that RRQ HOSHI has. Sanford is doing so much damage to the current call.
Oh,
comrades-in-arms caught out, able to zone himself away. The Lord needs to be taken care of. The dualities here, they're gonna look for the crystal. comrades-in-arms straight for the end game. And RRQ HOSHI will not close out the series the way they wanted to. Team Liquid Philippines ties it up.
Gotta give props to Yuktis.